100 years in the sky, legendary B-52 Stratofortress heads for another upgrade. There are probably at least a dozen nicknames for the strategic bomber B-52 Stratofortress, the most honored, the deadliest, the oldest, but also Big Ugly Fat Fellow, Winged Aircraft Carrier, Atomic Bus, Fire Dragon, and the Last Battalion. Whether affectionate or rough, these respectful epithets unmistakably signal that we're dealing with a legend. Yet, even they can't fully convey the true magnitude of this combat aircraft. First taking to the skies in 1952, and with production ending in 1962, by all rights, the B-52 should have long been consigned to history. Yet, the Buff remains in active service. More than that, it's poised to outlive aircraft developed even in the next century. In this video, we'll explore how an ordinary turbofan project from the mid-20th century is set to become a strategic symbol of 21st century air power. The plane was destined to die almost as soon as it was born. It first took flight in the early 1950s, and already by the end of that decade and the start of the 1960s, the role of strategic aviation as an element of nuclear deterrence in the Soviet-American confrontation was greatly diminished by the introduction of intercontinental ballistic missiles, ICBMs, and submarine-launched ballistic missiles, SLBMs. Production of the B-52 was halted, but fortunately it wasn't scrapped. Unlike the Soviet bombers Tu-4, M4, and 3M, which Soviet leader Nikita Khrushchev eagerly disposed of, there's an old saying, "Those who miraculously avoid death in youth are destined for a long life." The B-52 repeatedly proved its necessity. It showed itself in combat over Vietnam and the Persian Gulf Wars and operations against Yugoslavia, and also in conflicts in Syria and Afghanistan. During Operation Enduring Freedom, 10 B-52s dropped nearly a third of all bombs used in Afghanistan within just the first months of the campaign. Years and decades flew by, but the reliable B-52H Stratofortress continued flying. Surprisingly, it turned out that replacing this aircraft was quite a challenge. The much newer B-1B displayed a relatively low mission readiness rate. The world's first strategic stealth bomber, the B-2 Spirit, proved incredibly costly both to produce and to operate. Additionally, its stealth capabilities are now questionable against advanced Russian air defense systems like the S-400 and S-500. And how can we ignore these numbers? The payload capacity of the B-52 is 70,000 pounds, whereas the B-2 carries only about 50,000 pounds. Combat radius: the B-52 offers around 4,480 miles compared with 2,730 miles for the B-2. The flight hour cost: 70,000 for the B-52 versus a whopping 130,000 for the B-2. It's hardly surprising that the U.S. Air Force decided to modernize the B-52 and gradually phase out the B-2, replacing it with the B-21 Raider, which promises, emphasize promises, to be cheaper to operate. But the Raider's payload's even smaller, only about 35,000 pounds, almost half that of the Stratofortress. There's another critical indicator where the venerable B-52 surpasses its younger counterparts: its mission-capable MC rate, the percentage of time an aircraft is available to perform its combat missions. It's calculated as the ratio of the number of aircraft ready to fly to the total number in service. Last year, the MC rate for the B-52H was 0.78, for the B-1B Lancer it was 0.45, and for the B-2 Spirit only 0.35. But let's get back to the hero of our story. Overall, the B-52H has already been modernized to a level that allows it to meet the tactical and strategic demands of the 21st century. One of the most notable upgrades is the integration of the Sniper Advanced Targeting Pod, transforming the bomber into a real hunter for ground targets. This capability is further enhanced by GPS-guided JDAM precision bombs, and as a long-range arm, at least at the tactical level, the new AGM-158 JASSM missile plays the key role. The Stratofortress can carry up to 12 of these missiles. However, even these upgrades won't be enough for the aircraft to cross the desired threshold of 100 years of service. Remember, this century mark isn't from today, but from the moment the bomber entered service. A new version of the aircraft might be designated as the B-52J. So far, this is only a concept, a potential future effort, noted Colonel Lance Reynolds, program manager for the B-1 and B-52 Lifecycle Management programs. The most significant planned improvement is the engines. Indeed, the whole modernization revolves around them. The B-52H currently operates 8 Pratt & Whitney TF-33 P103 turbofan engines, exceptionally reliable for their era, the very same ones installed back in the 1960s. These engines provide cruising speed and combat radius comparable even to newer aircraft types. On the other hand, using 8 engines on a single platform is hardly a modern solution today, and the engines themselves have long since become obsolete. It's no surprise that back in 1996, an initiative was launched to re-equip the B-52 with 4 Rolls-Royce RB211 534E4 engines. Although this initiative never materialized, it wasn't the end of the story. On May 19, 2020, the U.S. Air Force issued a request for proposals for a new competition. GE Aviation, Pratt & Whitney, and Rolls-Royce participated in the tender to supply 608 engines. As expected, Rolls-Royce emerged victorious with its F-130 engine developed from the BR-725, itself a variant of the Rolls-Royce BR-700 engine family. The F-130 engine family we propose for propulsion modernization is already mostly made in the United States, and we plan to take the final step by assembling and testing it entirely within the U.S. if the program moves forward, Tom Hartman, Senior Vice President for Customer Business at Rolls-Royce, previously stated. The F-130's thrust is comparable to that of the TF-33. Interestingly, despite initial plans to reduce the number of engines, direct replacement, at least until recently, remained the preferred option. Still, the aircraft's range is expected to increase by approximately 20 to 40%. Currently, its combat radius is about 4,480 miles, already sufficient for most combat missions. The first test flights with the new engines are scheduled for 2026, with full operational deployment expected by 2033. Modernizing the B-52 also involves significant upgrades to its weapons systems, allowing it to carry the latest high-precision weapons, including hypersonic missiles. One of the key modernization efforts involves integrating hypersonic missiles capable of penetrating enemy air defense systems at extremely high speeds. Foremost among these is the AGM-183 Air-Launched Rapid Response Weapon, ARROW, a guided missile capable of reaching speeds above Mach 5 and engaging targets at considerable distances. The B-52 is expected to become its primary carrier. Additionally, as part of its modernization, the B-52 will be able to carry the Long-Range Standoff Missile, LRSO, a cruise missile designed to replace the aging AGM-86B ALCM. The LRSO will enable nuclear strikes against hardened targets even amid advanced enemy air defense systems. The B-52 remains an essential part of America's nuclear triad, and its modernization is specifically aimed at ensuring effective delivery of nuclear weapons. Guidance systems and software will be upgraded to integrate new types of munitions. Technologies improving stealth and strategic weapon deployment, including low observable missile containers, will also be introduced. Onboard electronics will be fully replaced. Currently, B-52 pilots rely on a cluster of analog gauges and instruments, as decades ago they still only have 2 small multifunctional displays, insufficient by today's standards. Thus, a modern digital cockpit with large multifunctional displays will be installed, providing all necessary flight and mission data. Onboard computers will automate many processes, significantly reducing crew workload. The avionics will be radically upgraded, greatly enhancing the aircraft's combat capabilities to meet contemporary warfare demands. Under the radar modernization program, the B-52 will receive the latest AN/APG-79 radar, a modified version of the Active Electronically Scanned Array ASA radar used on the FA-18EF Super Hornet fighters. This will greatly enhance target detection and weapon guidance capabilities, especially in adverse weather conditions. The new radar provides improved terrain mapping under all weather conditions, precise targeting for bombs and cruise missiles, and enhanced electronic warfare capabilities, including detection and suppression of enemy radars. Modern combat operations require the integration of all platforms into a single information network. For this, the B-52 will receive state-of-the-art navigation systems utilizing the latest generation GPS and inertial navigation complexes. Advanced communication equipment will be installed, enabling real-time data transmission and participation in networked battle management systems such as Joint All-Domain Command and Control, JADC2, The upgraded B-52 will integrate seamlessly into networked combat operations, allowing it to receive intelligence data from drones, satellites, and other platforms in real time, operate closely alongside modern fighters like the F-35 and F-22, and act as an airborne data relay hub, greatly improving interoperability among different forces. The completion of modernization and acceptance of the B-52J into active service is scheduled for 2033. The Pentagon plans to fully upgrade all existing 76 B-52H aircraft to the B-52J standard by the 2040s. Such an extensive modernization program ensures that the B-52 will maintain its leading position within its class for decades to come. These are the intricate twists and turns of technological progress. An aircraft designed in the mid-20th century will remain the backbone of U.S. strategic aviation even in the mid-21st century, a truly phenomenal achievement. But what do you think about the B-52? We'd especially like to hear from those who've served aboard the Stratofortresses. We're certain there are some among our viewers, as thousands have proudly served on this legendary bomber over the decades. Thank you for watching. We greatly appreciate your likes and subscriptions to our channel. See you soon.